He told me he was going to visit his sick aunt. My sister texted me a picture of him on the beach, with my maid of honor. When I confronted him, he said, "You always expected too much." That night, I sold his car, emptied his closet, and left his beloved dog with his ex-wife, the one he swore he hated. He came home to nothing but a note. "Expect this." He screamed into the empty house as my plane took off because I never thought I'd be one of those people telling a story like this. But after what happened, I needed to get it out. Maybe someone will read this and think twice before trusting too much. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. Born and raised. It's where I met Jason. He was that guy who knew how to turn on the charm without it feeling fake. He made you laugh, listen just the right amount, and had a way of making you think you were the only person in the world he saw. I was 28 when we started dating. I thought I hit the jackpot. We moved in together after a year. Things were great, on the surface. He'd talk about our future, kids, a house with a big porch, and lazy Sunday mornings. My friends all liked him. Even my family liked him. That includes my younger sister, Megan. Megan had always been the wild one. She had a way of drifting into trouble and dragging others with her. But she was my sister. I believed blood mattered more. I had her as my maid of honor. She cried when I asked her, told me she was proud of me. I believed her. The wedding was set for the following spring, on Folly Beach. We were 2 weeks out when Jason said he needed to go see his aunt in Florida. He said she was sick, possibly her last days, and that he had to go alone because she was in no state for visitors. I didn't even question it. I told him to take his time and be there for her. 2 days later, I got a text from Megan. It was just a photo. Jason was lying on a beach chair, shirt off, drink in hand, next to Megan in a tiny bikini. Her hand was on his thigh. They were laughing. The sun behind them. That damn picture burned into my eyes. I didn't even call Megan. I called him. "Why are you in Miami with Megan?" I asked, voice already shaking. He sighed. "You always expected too much from me." That was it. He hung up. I stared at my phone, waiting for it to ring again. It didn't. Something broke in me. Not just the betrayal. Not just the shock. But that calm way he said it, like I was the one at fault. That night, I sold his car. He drove a '68 Mustang, his pride and joy. But it was under my name because he had bad credit. I had no problem finding a buyer. The guy was at my house with cash in hand within hours. After that, I took every piece of clothing he owned and dumped it into moving boxes. Then I drove them over to his ex-wife's place. She was surprised to see me. "I thought he hated you," I said. She smirked. "He does. But Max loves me." Max was their dog. Jason kept him in the breakup and made it sound like the ex begged for him back. I handed her the leash. Max wagged his tail like he remembered her. I left her his clothes, a box of random electronics, and a note that said, "Enjoy the return of trash." Back home, I grabbed a Sharpie and a yellow sticky note. I wrote 3 words and stuck it right in the middle of the kitchen island. "Expect this." Then I got in my car, drove to the airport, and caught the last flight out to New York. I had been offered a job months ago and quietly accepted, planning to move after the wedding. That plan just got fast-tracked. The next morning, I turned on my old phone for 5 minutes. 17 missed calls. 10 voicemails. A dozen texts. All from Jason. The last message he sent was, "What the F*** did you do?" I didn't answer. I powered off the phone and dropped it in a trash bin at LaGuardia. From my new apartment window, I imagined him walking into the empty house. No car in the driveway. No clothes in the closet. No Max. Just that yellow note on the counter. Alone. And screaming. That's where it starts. It didn't take long before the fallout started. A week into my new job in Manhattan, I got an email from my mom. Subject line, "Call me. Now." I ignored it. Then came another. Then a call from my dad. Then 3 from my cousin. I finally picked up when Aunt Cheryl called. She never calls unless it's serious. "Sweetheart, I don't know what's going on, but your mom's in tears. Jason showed up at their house last night. My stomach turned. He said you stole his car and abandoned the dog. Said you ran off without a word. Your mom's defending you, but your dad thinks you've lost your mind. I stayed quiet. You okay? She asked. I'm better now, I said. That's all they need to know. But Jason didn't stop there. He knew how to play the victim. He knew how to spin it just right. Within 2 weeks, I started getting emails from old friends asking what was going on. One of them forwarded a post Jason made on Facebook. In it, he wrote, "When you love someone and they use you, steal from you, and vanish, it changes you. All I ever did was love her. I never expected she'd run off and leave our dog with my abusive ex pray for me." It had over 300 likes and comments. People from our hometown commenting, "You're better off without her," and some people are just evil. Even Megan commented with a heart emoji. I didn't respond. I refused to be dragged into their mess. But one thing kept bothering me. He said I stole from him. So I dug into something I hadn't wanted to touch again, his finances. While we were together, I'd helped him out with his credit cards. I made a few payments here and there. Turns out he never closed those shared accounts. And I still had login access. I opened the statements. That's when I saw it. 3 weeks before he left to see his aunt, he had bought Megan a diamond bracelet. Charged it to the joint card. $2,100. He bought them both a weekend at the Ritz-Carlton in Miami. He rented a convertible Porsche. He used my money. I sat there staring at the screen, hands shaking. Then I called a lawyer. We filed a claim for unauthorized charges. My name was on that card, but he was the one who used it without permission. The lawyer said we had a strong case. While we were waiting on the bank to respond, I posted one thing. One single screenshot. It was a credit card statement. Highlighted was the charge for the bracelet. The dates matched the same weekend he claimed to be grieving with his aunt. The caption was simple. Turns out grief looks like a beachfront suite and a diamond bracelet for your fiancé's sister. I didn't tag anyone. I didn't need to. Within hours, it exploded. People started commenting, then DMing me, then tagging him. 3 days later, Jason deleted his Facebook. But the damage was done. Then the ex-wife messaged me. He's trying to take Max back, saying you abandoned him and I stole him. Can you write me something showing you gave him to me willingly? I said, absolutely. She sent me back a copy of a handwritten note I'd left with Max's food bowl. He's all yours now. Treat him better than Jason did. She had even taken a photo of me handing over the leash. Let him try, she texted back. That week I got served. Jason was suing me for defamation and theft of reputation. That's not even a real thing, by the way. But the moment I saw the paperwork, I knew he was desperate. And desperate people make stupid mistakes. I was ready to fight. I didn't want a legal war, but Jason was pushing me into one. My lawyer, Susan, was a calm woman with sharp eyes and a mean sense of timing. She read through the defamation suit, shook her head, and said, "This is trash, but we'll respond." We did more than respond. Susan filed a countersuit for fraud, unauthorized use of joint credit, emotional distress, and this part one didn't even know was possible, intentional infliction of harm tied to financial manipulation during an engagement. I didn't care about the money, but he needed to feel the consequences. And then Susan said something that changed everything. By the way, she said, flipping through her papers, has he always had a job? I blinked. Yeah, he worked in insurance. She frowned. According to what I pulled, he hasn't filed steady income taxes in over 2 years. My mouth dropped. Excuse me? He's listed as an independent consultant. But no W-2s. No verified income. Not even self-employment filings. So Jason, the man who used to lecture me about budgeting, had been living off my income, some side gigs, and probably money Megan or others didn't know they were feeding him. That was the day I realized he wasn't just a liar or a cheater. He was a scammer. I let Susan dig further. Turns out, Jason owed thousands in back taxes. Had at least 2 small claims judgments against him in South Carolina. And here's the kicker, he never officially divorced his ex-wife.
Yeah.
The one I gave Max to? Legally, she was still his wife. They had filed papers years ago, but never finalized. He never signed the final paperwork. She assumed it was done. He lied to everyone, including her. They were technically still married. When I told her, she nearly dropped the phone. That means our wedding wasn't even legal? She asked. Exactly. She laughed. He always said I was the mistake. Guess I was still the wife the whole time. We agreed to meet in person. We compared stories. She told me things I wish I never knew, like how he had cheated on her with Megan once before, years ago, and swore it meant nothing. This man had a pattern. So we formed a plan. A slow one. A legal one. First, we sent everything we knew, his lies, his fake stories, his misuse of money, to the IRS, to his former employer, and to the court as part of the lawsuit. Second, she refiled the divorce papers. This time, with a full record of his misdeeds and a request for full disclosure of all assets, including anything he had gained through manipulation or fraud. Then I got the message I was waiting for. From Megan. What the hell did you do to him? He's losing it. He smashed my phone. He's blaming me for everything. I made a mistake, okay? I didn't know he was still married. I didn't reply. She tried again. You win. You got what you wanted. I hope it was worth destroying all of us. But I hadn't destroyed anything. I just stopped covering for him. And then came the final twist. One night late, I got a text from an unknown number. I opened it, expecting more whining or threats. But it was a video. Jason.
Drunk. Crying.
Pacing around a dirty room. Looked like a cheap motel. He screamed at the camera, "You ruined me. You took my ****ing life. This was your fault." Then he threw a glass at the wall, and it shattered. The video ended. A minute later, another message popped up. That's who you were about to marry. Thought you should know. No name. No follow-up. But I didn't need one. Everything was unraveling. And he was finally feeling it. 3 weeks after that video, the court date arrived. Jason didn't show up. His lawyer quit 2 days before, claiming irreconcilable differences. My lawyer told me he'd been officially served with a court order from his wife, now actively divorcing him, for real this time, with a full request for spousal support and back taxes documentation. He was spiraling and fast. That night, I got one last email from Megan.
I'm pregnant.
He's gone. I don't know where he is. This is a nightmare. I didn't answer. She didn't reach out again. I didn't hear from Jason either. Not for months. Then, one cold morning in February, I got a certified letter at my new apartment in Manhattan. It was from a debt collection agency. Not for me, for him. Somehow, in some twisted way, he had listed my old Charleston address as his billing address for a payday loan. The amount? $7,200. It was in his name, but they wanted verification I wasn't a cosigner. I wasn't. And I sent them everything they needed to prove it. Still, that letter rattled me. I sat on the edge of my bed, holding the envelope, wondering how someone could fall so far and drag others with him. Later that day, I called Susan. I want this finished, I said. She agreed. 2 months later, the court ruled in my favor. Jason owed me the money he spent on the credit card, plus damages. He never responded. A lien was placed against anything he owned, which turned out to be nothing. No house. No car.
No savings.
His ex-wife got her divorce finalized. She got Max legally. She got full spousal support because she proved he had been using both of us financially for years. She and I still text sometimes. Funny how betrayal can bond two people. Megan? I never saw her again. But I heard from a friend that she moved back in with our parents. Had the baby. Jason wasn't around. Word is he left town. Disappeared. Some say he moved west. Others say he's living out of a van somewhere in Arizona. I don't care. But sometimes I think about the version of myself that trusted him. That trusted her. That thought love and loyalty were enough to make people stay honest. That version of me? She died the day I saw that beach photo. I still live in New York. Still have the job I took. I started therapy too. Not to deal with Jason, but to understand why I let myself believe people like him don't exist. I wasn't perfect. I missed signs. I excused red flags. I believed the good guy story too many times. I thought loyalty meant keeping your mouth shut and staying kind. But real loyalty? It's standing up for yourself when you've been lied to. And if that makes me the villain in his story, so be it. Because the next time someone says I expect too much, I'll smile and say, damn right I do. And they can expect this.